So I'll tell you, this is Jeff.
And this is Corey.
Hello, Corey. Welcome.
Yeah, Jeff. What's this thing?
This thing is a video game I'm going to be playing after doing a quick intro, which is not on the stream preview. So just use your mind's eye to
Yes.
imagine. Have you ever heard of the Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows?
I'm going to say no.
Okay, you were going to say it, and then you did say it. Thank you.
Unless is that thing in Destiny?
You know what? My name is Jeff, not Bife, so I can't confirm or deny. So I'm not sure. I'm could joking. Be.
It's the Book of Sorrows in Destiny.
Which is a side note. We're not here to necessarily talk about Destiny, but I do like Destiny lore. And if you're ever just like, I don't know, want to have a cool short story to read, just go to like the Ishtar Archive or whatever. Go read the Books of Sorrow. They're great. That's not even a joke. So the Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows is just kind of like a blog of neologisms, basically.
Ooh, fun.
Of like just putting fun words to random moods or vibes or feelings and so forth. I think one of them was actually, I've got it loaded up here. I have no idea how to actually search this thing because it's like an old style blog, and they're advertising their book at the moment. So, like a Tumblr thing. I do remember coming across a few of these words in my time and being like, okay, that's nice. So it's not these words are not real. I put that in quotes with an asterisk because they're just made up. But all words are made up.
All words are made up.
Yeah. So it's like an exercise of naming strange thoughts. Okay, so here's an example. Sondering, the realization that each random passerby is living a life as vivid and complex as your own, populated with their own ambitions, friends, routines, worries. Inherited craziness, an epic story that continues invisibly around you, like an anthill sprawling deep underground with elaborate passageways of thousands of other lives you never know existed.
Personally, I and many others love the whole concept of Schadenfreude. It sounds like this is just a book of a lot of those things, although not necessarily just words that do exist in other languages, but more so complicated things.
For sure, I'm also a fan of the Germans word mashups. Do you know the effective or sort of a corollary or an antonym? I guess an antonym of Schadenfreude is a word that I had learned, which I'm very fond of, which is Fremdschämen.
Mm-hmm.
It's the shame of the friend or something like that. The vicarious embarrassment, feeling it for someone else, even though you're not experiencing it directly. Anemoia from the dictionaries of Obscure Sorrows is defined as nostalgia for a time you've never known. Which finally brings us back around to Anemoiapolis here, which is what we're playing.
So rose-colored glasses, essentially.
Yeah, it's like rose-colored glasses for something that you didn't actually experience. So I'm like, okay, I like that. This is finally released a few weeks ago. We'll start a new game here. It is also an excuse for me to talk about one of my other favorite things, which is fictional megastructures. A game that we had played a while ago on this channel. I'm pretty sure we did a video on it. It was called Naissance E, which was a stark puzzle platform horror-ish vibe game. There's mostly just parkour in a strange, infinitely large environment.
And first-person platforming is frightening.
But it was mainly inspired by Blam, the manga, which is fantastic. Which we've talked about a number of times.
Anemoiapolis?
We're going to Anemoiapolis.
Yeah, I don't think he's saying it right either.
Anemoiapolis. I think that's it.
Well, he spelled it right that time, so yes.
I'm gonna go with my own pronunciation of Anemoiapolis. I think it flows better. Also, there's a lot of vowels stuck in the middle there, which makes it a little hard to.
Yeah. I'm just not going to say it because I know I'll trip over it and say it wrong anyway.
Yeah, it's a made up word from a made up word. So it's a word.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I'm going to call this place Nevermore. Or Never Was.
Nevermore, never was. That's perfectly fine. One of in the blame, or well, it's spelled blame, but it's pronounced blam, just because it's strange. Anime, manga, not anime. Oh, technically, there was an anime adaptation on Netflix.
Well, at least I didn't put an unnecessary X in it that's not pronounced.
Did tamper with this?
In that story, there's basically a machine that has turned the entire space of the solar system into an endless city. So it's like an inconceivably large structure, like mega structure, and it's mostly immortal main characters as they wander, and most of the manga is literally architectural drawings with no dialogue, and it's great.
Wow.
And then they entered a room, and the cavity of the room was the size of Jupiter. And it's just, and it's just
normal stuff.
Normal stuff, and it's be like, and then they journeyed across, and maybe it's like 10,000 years, and they get to the next area. So scale and stuff, that kind of stuff is fascinating to me. Megastructures, I also love in my own writings and whatnot. And like the oldest house in Control as an example of one of those.
It was a trap.
It was a trap, possibly set intentionally. I love the oldest house in Control. I also love the Navidson's house from House of Leaves, which is a seemingly infinite, impossible geometric space inside the house, much bigger than the outside.
I should be dead right now. Where am I?
And one of the more modern, or recent at least, phenomenons that kind of fits with this mood or aesthetic is Backrooms. Sort of like horror idea that, much like a Marble Hornets, which would be the Slenderman equivalent, or an SCP Foundation, is kind of just a modern example of like cooperative fiction writing or mythology, where you just have like an idea. In the case of Slenderman, it was just a picture in a something awful forum post that then people just expanded on. In the case of the Backrooms, it was just like a post from 4chan. It was just like, here's a creepy idea, and people just ran with it.
I mean, 4chan is good for creepiness.
Yeah, sure. We'll say that this is a rare case where maybe something not just abjectly horrible has come from that place. It's the concept of a liminal spaces, sort of like an infinite pocket dimension of a megastructure of liminal spaces that you can just accidentally wander into. And this particular game, which I had first seen on the Alpha Beta Gamer channel, which, by the way, is super great if you just want to see like alphas and betas of cool upcoming games. And I was like, ooh, the first chapter actually just came out. I was like, I shall play.
So what's with the countdown that it has on the Y button up there?
It is, I think that's kind of interesting. It's the amount of comments that you can get from a particular prompt. Before, I guess, Dark Souls style, it just, the character will just laugh, indicating they have nothing else to say.
That would save so much time talking to people in so many Souls-like games.
For sure. Yeah, so this is, basically I'm saying is this is a Dark Souls game. It's the Dark Souls of games, maybe?
Mm-hmm. Maybe the Dark Souls of walking simulators.
But I can also jump occasionally, so that's nice.
Oh, well, then it can't be a walking simulator.
I've gone through this first few rooms here. But ultimately, this is just a takeoff of of the backroom sort of idea and aesthetic of slightly familiar, slightly functional, but mostly empty spaces that are just kind of stacked infinitely. So I was like, you know what, I could vibe with that. I'm interested to see how this goes. I don't mind paying $10 for a little indie walking sim horror game experience.
Yeah. I mean, it makes for a perfect excuse for puzzles and other sorts of things to just kind of show up and be there without having to narratively justify them.
Yeah, it also gives me an excuse to talk about megastructures on video. So I don't know how this will exactly go. Hopefully, it will be more on the subtle atmospheric side of things, and not just the jump scare, run
Five
away.
Nights at
You
Freddy's.
got yeah, you got caught, so do the same thing, but do it better. Which it's not exactly the it's not ideal, right?
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's scary the first time, and then every time after that, it's just annoying.
For sure. This it is a problem with horror games that you can't fight back in, which is that if you have to do something, you want to have it possible to lose, but if you do lose, at least for me, all the tension's completely gone because it's just a game of memorizing. Like, okay, character starts over here, I need to run right, and then it's a left turn, and then it's a right turn, and then oops, it was actually a left turn again. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's lost. It has lost something at that point.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was Alien Isolation. Whatever the good one was, where it would actually change what the alien was doing between reloads. So just because it gets you once doesn't mean that it will get you in the same place. Like, you might not even be there the second time.
Is anybody here?
That's true. Even the most recent Dead Space remake, which just recently came out, which is great, there's a sort of AI director randomization to some of the encounters. So even if you die and restart, maybe the enemies was on one end of the room, but actually the second time they pop in through one of the vents on the other side of the room. So it's not exactly the same.
Oh, that sounds good. I mostly remember the first Dead Space, playing through it, getting to a particular save point. Or no, it wasn't a save point, it was an equipment point. And by that point, I had gotten used to the idea of, it's like, okay, it's an equipment point, so there's nothing around me. But the game doesn't actually pause, and at one of them, like, a little tentacle, like, flicked in the corner. I was like, huh, I look like a monster. But I'm at an equipment point, so that can't be, and game over screen.
Save point, safe point. These are the immutable rules.
Yeah. Dead Space, I will always applaud the first Dead Space for setting up that expectation and shattering it masterfully in my face.
It is such a weird violation almost. It does happen in a few games. I know, like, Silent Hill 4 is basically based around this concept. As your apartment becomes more and more haunted as the game goes along. Okay, I mean, nice little pattern there. See if I can do like a little okay, we got a little this is very important. Okay, a little J. For like for branding purposes, I think I do also have to make a okay, there's a D. Sure. And in honor of our guest here, why not a little there we go, nice little C.
Oh, thank you.
I've solved the puzzle. There we go. Got some pleasant music in the corner, or not in the corner, but in the background.
Dark hallway. That's not ominous.
Oh, that was a level transition. Okay. I wonder if this nope.
Door's gone.
Yeah, that's not surprising. I was gonna poke around a little bit more. Yeah, so I don't know much about the structure of this particular game. So I don't know if there is some procedural generation or if it's just kind of a completely, authored. I kind of assume it's the latter. But this kind of setup feel like could be a good use case for just like an oblige level.
Yeah, I feel like to a
Oblige,
degree.
of course, being the audit the randomly generated editor for Doom maps for those following at home.
Yeah, I feel like it would lend itself to the randomness, but I think that on the scale that this game looks like, it would be a little unwieldy to try and make sure that the randomness doesn't get you stuck.
Sure. And I feel like that kind of thing would actually probably be an interesting concept to explore in a horror game anyways, because like if there is the idea of an infinite and semi-human space that is being generated algorithmically and could have impossibilities in it, as long as there was a mechanic to get out of it, like a reset or a, like, teleport back to a spot or something like that. I feel like that they could work thematically if that's one of the themes wanted to go for.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to put it with that. Also, put like an AI like Sam Raimi movie style monster, quote unquote, to chase you through there, and the monster itself has to find its way through the randomly generated area as well.
We got 5 tickets. Okay.
You can trade those for a comb or a fake mustache.
I've been looking at that. There's like a little plastic spider. I've been kind of looking at that one, so I'm excited to maybe get into that.
I'm pretty sure that one's 10 tickets.
Okay, well, I don't remember the way back to the ticket booth, so hopefully we can find another pile of tickets before we get there. I guess the problem with AI that happens when the player doesn't see it is mostly just an exercise for engineers.
Yes. Yes.
It's like it is okay. It did actually loop back around. It wasn't just like a infinite.
It's not like The Shining. The hallways are not, in fact, impossible.
Okay, we'll try some different locations here. But yeah, like an AI doing something off screen is good for like a vid doc. But if it doesn't interact with the player, having them simulate their personal thoughts and feelings, and then they appear behind you. Like the player's playing, they're just like, "Oh, someone shot from behind." BS.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, you don't understand. The AI had its routine and it had a task system, and it went back to base, and it found resources, and it found a path back to you, and the path that it chose brought it behind you. I was like, that's cool, but
it might as well have just teleported behind me and killed me.
Exactly. I feel like that's a lot of the discourse, such that it is about the AI and like Fear One and that kind of thing. A lot of it is tricks, but that I feel like that's also selling it short, because that's what video games are.
Yeah.
So calling it a trick is kind of dismissive. Like, those are techniques. That's just everything is a false affordance.
Yeah, I told when I was giving a lecture back home to some kids that they were like, well, what about, they wanted some questions on game design. At some point I wound up telling them, it's like, look, AI is hard, not because it's difficult to make it intelligent, it's because it's difficult to make it stupid. Like, yeah, I could make a bot
in the realistic way.
Yeah, it's like, I can make a bot. It'll hit your headshot box every single time. It'll find you everywhere you are. It'll listen in for any sound that you make, and it will home in on it with 100% precision. But that's not fun. That's not entertaining. It's like, you actually want something that's dumb and overlooks things and misses occasionally to give you just like a chance.
Yeah, because I mean, it has full knowledge. It's part of the system.
Yeah.
Oh, saving.
That was one of those one-button elevators.
Assuming okay. Got a transition.
Where are we going now? Could be anywhere. Could even be a boat.
Maybe it's the prize counter.
Alright, come on, boat. Oh? Oh. No, that's a mall.
It's not necessarily, yeah, mall-like, less boat-like. I'm not gonna, we can't rule out the possibility of boating, but...
Yeah.
Ooh. Alright, I do have enough tickets for that plastic spider now.
Alright, the spider is ours now.
Just gotta get there before little Timmy. I know little Timmy was also... Okay.
Oh, someone talking to you there?
Appears to be a sort of like indistinct PA.
Ah.
Seems to go with the
mall
with
theory.
the vibe. Yeah, the vibe for sure.
Alright, well, escalators that are temporarily stairs.
Mm-hmm. Plot twist. I'm over here now. Okay, they are pronouncing it Anemoia.
Mm-hmm. I'm still gonna go with never was. Up. And now we're playing golf with friends.
Nope, that's a jump
Oh,
button.
maybe.
Be like, okay,
That
call BS on that.
That was supposed to go in. That went in.
Nice. Some,
Remember, every sale is one ticket.
Okay, that one did
All
not. That's on me, but yeah.
All right.
Work on the angle here.
More right. A little bit more.
It's kind of yeah. It's
Oh,
very,
it's fiddly.
very,
It's fiddly,
very
like right
fiddly.
where you need it to be.
Yeah, it's got a kind of like it's completely dependent on where the crosshair is. So I'm just kind of making these tiny movements, try and correct the.
Remember, every sale
And
is one ticket.
I assume a small arrow would be a like a softer hit.
Okay, complete BS.
Okay. Yeah. These I think that these are not meant to be holes at all. They are literally just circles painted on. Which, fair enough. Okay, actually do need 20 tickets. Okay. There's apparently a game. We're playing a game. This is what I'm hearing.
Mhm. It's a game within a mall within a food court.
Take that. I know it's just an indie game made by one dude, which that's awesome. More power to you. So this isn't really a complaint. It's just an observation. I don't have like sound materials for these different things I walk on for the footsteps and whatnot. Doesn't seem like it. So I'm not getting like a tink tink tink.
Yeah,
glass.
no walking on glass sound. Just tile. 100 tickets.
Tropical resort. Okay. This is becoming more Mario 64 than I had originally thought. Which originally thought it was not going to be Mario 64, so it was sort of like a 0%, and this is greater than that. We do have physics objects, though.
Yes, we have the clothing racks where the J.C. Penney's used to be.
They've been going for a while. They're pretty stable, all things considered. All right. So they didn't,
Pretty solid.
Didn't clip into each other. Ooh, 10 tickets. That's going to make all the difference.
Yeah. Well, you can go to the golf course now.
Yeah, apparently I have a zoom in button. Doesn't seem to be although I can make I can just walk everywhere with vertigo zooms.
That is going to be unpleasant if you continue on.
Fair enough. Okay.
Like, and those are the belt tie racks. 0 tickets to go to the conference center.
We could just go to the conference center. Not sure. Well, I guess we came in from the second floor, so I don't think any of these would be. Well, we could maybe just check out one of the other areas. This is so many tickets.
Yeah, I might be able to afford the crawly spider that you throw at the wall and it just slowly shimmies down, and then your mom gets angry at you for throwing stuff at the wall. Just me?
No, I don't think it is just you. I'm having some anemoia.
You mean some never was.
Some never was. 40 for a movie theater. Okay. Actually, do we actually... What is the... Actually was not paying attention to the exact number, but I guess we could go to the movie theater.
You've got somewhere around 40, I think? Like last time I remember looking, you were at 35.
It says insert 40, so I assume that meant that the
you have at
the
least
number was
40.
there. Okay, let's do the movie theater.
All right. Now the question is, what's showing? Will it be Oscar favorite Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Like maybe a 10-ticket exit fee here. Okay, carpet's on point for sure.
Yeah, this is a movie theater carpet.
Okay.
I'm disappointed there's no movie poster, but I'm also happy that there's no Regal Club Card Entertainment presents Captain Watch Movies.
This might just be Spinal Tap. I'm gonna assume. Just some creative advertising, I suppose. Well, there's nothing back here. I suppose there has to be some concessions.
Aren't those tickets? Yeah. So there's technically tickets back here.
So it's empty, so there has to be some concessions.
I mean, the shape this is very clearly the help desk.
Look, don't ruin my puns with facts.
Sorry, I can't help it.
Okay. I wonder if I could sneak up here.
I just know at some point, to upset me specifically, there's going to be a non-multiple of 5 number of tickets lying around.
Oh, there we go. Another level.
Yep, another level.
I don't know how much game is here. I was actually kind of expecting it would be kind of like a jump scare kind of thing. I guess it's both possible. In my time, I have learned to not be as resistant to the jump scare. I think it is a tool that can be deployed well or poorly.
And I'm kind of intrigued by the idea that it has a jump scare, literally one, and then that's it. The rest of it is all just atmosphere building up to that one jump scare, and then that's the end. That's all you get.
I've also considered like making a horror game where you had like a jump scare counter on your UI, and it's like, to beat the level you have to get through this many of them, and there's like just a button you could to just deploy it at any moment just to get it over with. And just like make it like kind of gamify it and make it a little bit silly, but then, have the counter go to negative numbers, have the counter use characters or irrational numbers.
Yeah, that would be a fine balancing act. You'd have to
the button not do a jump scare when you press it. These kinds of things.
It would have to be consistent enough to where they would feel they would be able to put faith in it, at least a little bit.
Yeah, you gotta establish the rules before changing them. Well, I mean, I just feel like I've gone this far.
That's just...
Just gotta do them all here. Did not forget about you. Second layer.
Clean up on aisle 6.
I think we've done good work here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, mannequins. Which I'm very wary of ever since Condemned 2.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep my eye on you, but I also don't want to keep my eye on you. Just I'm conflicted.
Yeah, I find that that is a consistent source of some good quality scares. Is just a nice featureless mannequin. It even worked in what was it? Arkham Knight? Yeah, Arkham Knight. There's this whole sequence where it's bat mannequins, but they start closing in on your character until eventually one of them bursts with the real Batman.
Dark room. Got a little door at the end. Kinda. Okay.
Yep. Like again with the clothing rack. I gotta say, this movie kind of sucks.
Well, you know.
Ooh, hot firing.
We found a game.
Oh, you gotta hurry. The imposter's coming.
Oh, can't use the D-pad. That's fine. Okay.
All right. Well, you've opened the shortcut.
Mapping here. Yeah, I finally found the door upon which the door opens, or the side of the door upon which it opens. Physics object? It's not.
Nope.
Suspicious.
Yeah. That makes me think it definitely moves.
Keep my eye on you. Just the corner of my eye. All right.
Boxes.
Solve the box puzzle.
Right.
Press X to doubt.
X it.
Oh, okay. I have X'd it.
Okay, now you're in a hospital? Yeah, psychiatric ward?
I think it's all... it's all just non-specific liminal spaces. It's probably fine.
Mm-hmm.
There's an evocation, not necessarily representation. I will still look for being able to see out of environment at the edges of these things where maybe they didn't align correctly. How could I not?
Yeah. Environment testing instincts die hard.
Yeah. Another 10 out of 10 carpet. I'm gonna pointedly ignore the Spencers again. There's some strange cube mapping or whatever on the reflections, but
yeah. Apparently you're some sort of vampire with no reflection of your own.
For sure. I guess another thing I was gonna say about shoes.
Oh, thank goodness.
About mannequins, especially in horror games and whatnot. If you're making a low-budget horror game, a mannequin is also extremely useful because you can get a lot out of not having to do animations or complex animation, like an animation blueprint where there's like state transitions and you make sure that it doesn't look janky, or it looks janky in just the right way. You just have a change of position when player camera is not looking on it situation.
Yeah, I mean, the weeping angels from Doctor Who the first time they appeared, and only the first time they appeared, were
and only the first.
yeah, they were very effective for that exact reason. It was just they're just statues, and it's like you look away and up, they're somewhere else now. No animation, no turning. It is just there.
Can give this a good little pull, push and pull. Strange. Yeah, the Weeping Angels is basically, I mean, that's the source of the SCP Foundation, the first one there. It's just a Weeping Angel knockoff for all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
And that's then we get control out of that. So like I like that lineage. It's a cause and effect there.
Yeah.
J and Joe's.
Yeah, I mean they knocked it out of the park first time on that one, and they kept bringing them back.
Still not physics interaction here. Okay, all right. Getting the slight stutters of something loading, perhaps.
Mm-hmm. Ah, the Never Was Mall grand opening.
Hope the stutters are for loading and not because, I don't know, Windows Defender's running in the background or something.
I mean, you're hoping we have a Doom 3 style situation. It's like, all right, well, he's too close to the monster closet. Better load it in. I hope he didn't notice.
Yeah,
I noticed.
I did notice. Yeah. That's another I guess indie game quibble. I mean, Doom 3 is not an indie game, so it happens in AAA too. But you want to have something that you really want the player to see. Like in this, the first time I played, you fall down the trap and you land in the water. The first time I played, because my graphic settings weren't quite right yet, it was basically a slideshow and then got up the water, and it was like very stuttery because it was basically loading. Because it was like, new area, we want something to happen immediately. You're falling and you crash into the water. You need to load the area and then give the computer a few seconds to get everything in place, then show the thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like maybe that didn't happen if you're testing it on your local computer and you have like a really good CPU or whatnot. But this is one of the many reasons it's important to do hardware testing too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can't make it over the wall. Okay. That's
Yeah.
a weird thing
for the hardware testing, when I was part of a group and we did a final project for one of our gaming classes. Ran great on our machines, but when it came time to put it onto the presenting machine, the frame rate dropped from a steady 60 to negative 20.
That's a lot less than 0.
Yes, and through a process of debugging, we were eventually able to find that the issue was a 10 million polygon bush.
That is too many polygons.
Yeah, for whatever reason, on our machines, the bush was 4 polygons, but when it was on the test machine, due to some bizarre API call, or we never really even figured out what was going on there, it just turned the bush into a fractal and just made millions upon millions of unnecessary triangles out of it.
All right, it's time to take our platform with us.
I don't think it wants to go. Or at least it doesn't want to go conveniently.
It's kind of, yeah, you have to work with it a little bit here.
Up Don Austin powers it.
Although, hey, you know what? I hear the sound of it following me. This works just fine. This actually works even better. Can I run with it, though? That's the question. I got strong arms.
Yeah, really strong. Flexible, too, to be able to hold it behind you like that.
I assume that my character is just Naruto running at the moment in order to still hold on to it. All right, now... is my Eurydice still here? Very good.
Oop.
Can I grab it while standing on top? Okay. Just wondering. I think I placed it in a...
I'd go the other way. Yep.
It works out. Okay.
Take that, sequence.
Ooh. Piece of candy. We've solved the level.
You've entered the movie theater that was inside of the movie theater.
Okay, locked.
Uh-oh.
Like
Are you
maybe
trapped in an infinite hallway?
Well, let's see. Possibly just long.
I see a wall.
Seems to be finite.
Really long, though.
Possibly that hitch at the end was the reset. But it's actually, yeah, there's a weird lens distortion at the end of the edge of the screen here. Okay. I wonder if that is implying something. You know, I wonder if that was that good enough. You know, we got like a solid 45 minutes.
Yeah, got a good chunk. Didn't get to your jump scare, but
yeah, and maybe it's not there. Maybe it's only being deployed tastefully. I mean, I'd prefer that, honestly. It seems more just kind of a mood thing. I guess this. You know what?
Slow walk down the hallway.
This is. I'm gonna see if I can just get the drift on the control stick to do it for me. Just kind of. Yeah, there we go. It's just completely hands-free. All I got to have is a 15-year-old controller that has slight drift on one of the sticks. But by God, this wired 360 controller lives and still works on every video game perfectly, except for this one exact instance where it's not even a problem; it's a feature. If you enjoy us talking about megastructures and liminal spaces and video game testing, because why not? I mean, who wouldn't?
And breaking, mostly breaking.
That's part of the process. You can support us on Patreon by donating monthly. You can also do the YouTube stuff like comment, subscribe, all the algorithm related things. We do enjoy quite enjoy making these videos for y'all, and that does help us out a bit. This has been Anemoiapolis. That's kind of what I'm going with. Anemoiapolis. I put an extra in there. Anemoiapolis.
I'm still going to call it Never Was.
Okay. Although I guess to stay on brand, I have to whisper that. Okay. Anemoia.